And the breakdown of the relationship between the Fab Four as they were known, that didn't exactly happen overnight. Look, it's been blamed, an allegation that it's been blamed on a breakdown in communication between Kate and Meghan. But is that really a fair observation?
I mean, it does look to be the case. I mean, we obviously heard allegations that apparently Katherine made Meghan cry during the preparation of her wedding, and Katherine wasn't very fond of Meghan for saying that she had baby brain when she was pregnant with her third child. We'll never actually know the real story behind it, but I don't find it hard to believe. Again, you have to understand that the royal family is quite unique in the sense that it's quite traditional. There obviously ranks. Katherine is going to be the future queen, so she obviously outranks Meghan. We don't know if that actually had a role in kind of the acrimony that's clearly witnessed in their relationship and how cold it is now. But we do know that being the same age, they should have probably had more in common and you know, been closer. They're both very intelligent, very beautiful, very articulate women and very powerful, you know, public figures. But for some reason, their relationship was broken down to the extent that even when, you know, during the Queen's funeral, when they did that walk around, they were on opposite ends of each other. They just really, it was clear that they didn't have a very warm relationship. And we know from royal correspondence that actually that walk around was a very difficult thing for Katherine, because clearly she didn't want to have to do that. We don't know if that's true, but these are the allegations we're hearing and we have no reason to doubt them. So I suspect it did likely come from a breakdown in communication between Meghan and Katherine, which is unfortunate. Now, I don't know who is to blame. I still suspect that it's just Meghan's unrealistic and probably detached expectations of what it would be like to be in the royal family, how to relate with people and all of that. And, you know, that probably likely played a role in the breakdown of the relationship between the pair.
And finally, one last thing. It's also alleged that William is trying to muscle his way into running the royal family. Now, the Prince and Princess have definitely taken on a greater share of the work, but that appears to be, from where I'm looking, part of the leaning and modernising strategy of the royal family. Do you think this Barb's a little bit cute?
I mean, I think it's completely ridiculous. He was obviously always going to be the future king. He doesn't have to muscle his way into something that is his birthright. But I also think you have to be reasonable and assuming that the reason why they've taken on more responsibilities is because they have fewer resources to draw upon. You know, one of the optimistic hopes of the Sussexes joining the fold was the fact that they were going to unburden senior members of the royal family by taking on more of this work. We're starting to see it with Meghan and Harry going to South Africa on their tour. But obviously that didn't come to fruition. And so, you know, the work has had to be spread out. The Edinburghs, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh have also had to take on a lot of work. They've been to Canada recently to have royal engagement. So I think it's more to do with the fact that there are genuinely just fewer people and fewer resources to draw upon, as opposed to, you know, William trying to muscle his way in. He is going to lead the royal family one day. That is without question. So he will obviously take a more leading role. But I don't think it's because he's greedy or power hungry or anything of the sort. I genuinely think it's just because that is the role that he was born into, and there are just fewer workers to carry out the work.
Thank you for your insights as always. Esther Krakue, thank you for joining us.